What can we learn from Ötzi the Ice Man's remains? Although many may not know or understand the benefits of looking at Ötzi's body, or may have never even heard of him, it can help us learn many things about the past. The three biggest in this of these are his lifestyle, his health, and his diet. These all give us a general idea of what prehistoric life may have been like. Ötzi is one of the only truly intact remnants of the prehistoric world. His clothes tell of animal husbandry. Found on him were special shoes for walking on snow. They were waterproof, and there was soft grass inside. What was surprising was his loincloth and his cape. His loincloth was made out of wool, found to be closer from sheep, which were genetically found to be closer to modern sheep that are farmed rather than the wild of the ones in the area today. His hat was also made with domesticated goat leather. He also had an axe with a bronze tip, which meant that the Bronze Age had started earlier than had been thought. He also had a drill and a firebox, as well as a few other possessions. But the fire starter is one of the most important, also one of the most important things. Quote, the tinder polypores are used with flint and steel, and it can keep embers smoldering, and was used throughout the North to carry fire, unquote, according to Susan Pike. This, along with other processes, along with his other possessions, tell us about his lifestyle. His health. His health tells us a great deal about prehistoric European health. Arterus occlericis was probably extensive at the time. He was also riddled with parasites. Ötzi was discovered to have whipworm in his bowel. The eggs are ingested with contaminated food or water. They then hatch in the small intestine and later move to the large intestine, and they live up to 5 years. Females lay up to 20,000 eggs per day. Because there were so many, they were almost certainly widespread at the time. He had the oldest known case of H. pylori, and he had stomach pains and ulcers, arthritis in both knees, and more. He seen off after near-death experiences are Bowe's Quote, 3 Bowe's lines seen on Ötzi's nail show that he had 3 separate periods of marked illness or trauma, 8, 13, and 16 weeks prior to death. The most recent was most pronounced. He also got tattoos using a soot method, and he was lactose intolerant. His many health issues also had at least some connection to his diet, which is my third point. Because of the incredible conservation of the body, researchers were also able to determine what he ate shortly before death. There is evidence of the last 2 meals he ate have been recovered. Initially, the researchers could only tell where he was due to pollen residue, but later other researchers found his stomach and investigated the contents. Ötzi's stomach contents offer the first opportunity in history to actually examine specific meals eaten by ancient peoples. They were very meat-centered, and you can tell where he went from the residual pollen from his food and water. His last two meals consisted mostly of dried, fatty meat, and he also had some leafy greens such as ferns and stinging nettles and dried fruit. He also had mushrooms. Quote, Ötzi the Ice Man, who lived nearly 5,300 years ago, carried Amadou and a birch polypore tethered in a pouch to help him survive, unquote, according to Paul Stamets. He also had grains made into bread. His diet and his health and lifestyle are three of the biggest things we can learn from Ötzi the Ice Man's body, through Ötzi the Ice Man's body, we can tell much about the prehistoric lifestyle, health, and diet, even if many do not know who he was or how a dead body could be beneficial in learning history. Thank you.